Back in early 2015, I fell in love with a chateau I found online. I then had to convince my other half to give up our London life and move to rural France. To my surprise, she said yes, and a year later said yes again at our wedding at the chateau we now called our home. It's just us two and our husky Lightning, and now of course a few animals who seem to have joined us along the way.
It's such a beautiful place to live, so we decided to share it with everyone.
It's obviously a lot of hard work for just us two.
It's not always a fairy tale, and we don't always get it right.
But it's all fantastic fun along the way, so we bring this chateau back to life for others to enjoy as much as we do. Follow us, Angelina and Phil, along with the highs and lows of our chateau life.
Hey everybody, great news! We hit our 10,000 subscribers on YouTube! Woo!
Thank you so much everyone for getting us to this milestone. It's really important for us, and we're really thankful that the beautiful place that we get to live and we absolutely love, you seem to have loved just as much. So us getting to share our place, we're feeling the love back. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Other great news is we've also this week got our first ever sponsor.
Wow, amazing.
So, we couldn't come at a better time because I need to buy some tiles and some bits and pieces for the Swan House. So perfect timing, guys, but we'll come to that later. In the meantime, what have we been doing this week? Do you know what? You'll see.
Yeah. So me and Philly are tidying up all the loose tiles that are here. And Philly has begun tidying the floor. Look how lovely it looks. Show him, Philly. Come on. Show him. No, do the brushy. Do the big reveal.
No, here, it's like here.
Do the satisfaction shot. Ah, look how nice. It's beautiful. We're gonna need to get some swans after this. What do you think? Okay, we'll discuss this later. Okay, so now that all of this is gonna be cleared, you're gonna need to remove this cement barrier that's up there, isn't it? It's pointless.
Right, what I need to do is I need to clear all this wall ivy and everything around it so I can get rid of anything that's not supposed to be here, so we can fix anything that's broken in the wall so the structure can be tied to something properly. That's the start. There's no point in doing anything else for it to simply just fall in or get overgrown. So, all right, let's clear an area first. I really want to get on with it, but you've got to make sure where it's going is safe and secure. It isn't. So there's a couple of things you have to do. I have to repair the wall behind, otherwise there's nothing safe to tie the structure to stop it simply falling over. And I need to deal with some concrete that people have simply put to try to save the structure over the years, which hasn't really helped. So these pieces are the most important. There's one at the front on both sides. Somebody put these here to try to stop it falling forward. The reality is, when the water level rises and this is submerged, then it simply rotted the posts out. This wasn't going to help. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to knock this out so I can see what we're dealing with. We're going to cement some bricks in place, so there is probably two, maybe even 3 bricks high, so if the water does come over again, it's not going to submerge the new wood that we're putting here. And but to do that, I need to clear this and then see what we're working with. So time to hit things, I guess. Yes, getting there. Let me just It's just...
It's nothing but a load of earth, isn't it? It used to be probably the wood that then composted.
Absolutely, this is leaves over the years and the rotten wood composting back down.
Quite actually deep.
It is quite deep, because originally the posts would have been sunk either side of this concrete base into the ground. But let's see what we've got to work with. You can see here there's a line there from the concrete, from the base, with this rather messy bit put on, which shows this was put on after to try to stop movement and the rot, which of course it didn't do, it just kept it in. We have cleared the platform up, and I've got a little bit of cementing to do shortly. Pretty view now. Here's what's left of the frame. It's looking pretty sad. So here it is on the floor. There's the apex beam and the uprights. Now the uprights, the bottom has rotted away where it's gone into the rest of the frame. However, apart from getting rid of a slight bit of woodworm on the edge up here, which I think adds a bit of character, this is solid. Here is solid. It's just the type of joint retained water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these off flat, get rid of any rot on the edges, and then instead of using that same type of joint, I'm going to use coach bolts straight through from a new beam at the bottom. That will mean it's nothing to do with saving money or trying to reuse old wood. I just really want to keep the peg and dowel joints in as much of the original structure as possible. So let's get on with that a minute. This here is nice, solid, seasoned wood. Little bits in here to just chisel out a couple of bits on the edge, but I think saving rather than replacing is always the best course of action. Right, see what we can do with the other side. Now, I just use a chisel by hand. All I'm doing is scraping away anything that isn't rock solid. And getting down to decent stuff. One of the things people always think about woodworm, which you can see here, everyone thinks woodworm destroys everything. But actually, when you've got decent thick wood, they don't go down to the middle, they only deal with the surface. It's death watch beetle that go down to the middle, and that's what's destroying Longleat House in the UK. Right, just going to need a bigger peg. Let's see what we can deal with on the other side. As you can see, I'm not going to be quite as lucky on this side. This is actually rotted quite far in. Let's get the old peg out, shall we? It's a bit easier than I was expecting. So, I've marked an outline. Now it's time to cut a new piece of wood to shape. Right, saw time. Okay, new piece. Made. Shall we see how it slots in? Oh, like a glove. Right, one step closer. Look at that. So, made a new piece of wood and used the original methods with a peg, wooden peg. So I'm quite happy. Put this piece to one side. Let's fix the next piece. Here's one of the pieces. Now you can really see the extent of how far gone this is. Just doesn't exist. It's no longer wood. So we need to make 2 of these. So far, made new upright here, and I've even managed to use the peg, so no screws involved, old style carpentry. Cut one of the fresh cross pieces, about to do another. Now this is rough carpentry because this is something that lives outdoors, so there's going to be a lot of drawing around things rather than lots of measurements. So all right, let's cut this out. There we go. 2 done. The problem at the moment is I'm having a lot of fun making all the pieces, but I'm nearing the end, which means I'm nearing the hard bit of actually putting it all back together. The bit I've been trying to avoid. Yeah. Okay guys, we mentioned our sponsor earlier, and we are excited to have our first ever sponsor, and our sponsor is June's Journey.
Yeah. Now, June's Journey is a murder mystery game set in the 1920s. Now, it's completely free to download. You can get it on your smartphone and your tablet, and it's based around the character June Parker. The storyline is that her sister was murdered, and she's taken on the role of a detective to try and find the killer. You'll play as June herself, and that's exactly what you have to do in the game, is find clues.
Okay, so there's a couple of parts in the game, and the main part is you have a storyline which you have to unlock to get the next stages of each part, and you complete tasks. So you'll be presented with very beautifully staged scenes, maybe a room. As I said, it's in the 1920s, lovely antiques. You'll have to find clues within that scene to be able to move on to the next stage. Sometimes obviously they're easy to find, sometimes they're not, and you'll have to find all the clues to move forward. Obviously the more clues, the more coins and rewards you'll unlock.
Yeah, and the second part of the game is that you can use those items you've found to build your own manor, or you can develop to grow your own estate, even a whole island.
I say your own manor, I'd say chateau, but it's completely up to you. Maybe I'm biased. So yeah, I mean, listen, please do get on, take a look. It's really good fun, and thank you so much, June's Journey, for sponsoring this video.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to give a quick update on the seed bags and how they're doing capturing the seeds. You'll recall me making those seed bags a couple of episodes ago. So this is what a pansy seed bulb looks like, and when it reaches a certain pressure, it bursts open. It bursts open, and this is what the pod will look like. Well, actually, usually all the seeds fly out. After only a few days, this is how many seeds I've collected. Look at that. That's definitely worth the money saved. I'm back in my greenhouse, and I thought I would plant my pansy seeds that I've collected. Look at the amount. That's literally just 2 weeks worth. It's brilliant. So let's get going, because I need a lot of flowers for this year. And because the seed trays are all out of stock since the lockdown in the shops, I'm going to be using good old-fashioned toilet paper rolls for this project. What I plan to do is cut 4 incisions and fold the paper over about 1 inch lengthways. So here's my 4 incisions done. Let me just fold them in like this. Perfect. Here's a bunch I've made earlier. So I've got quite the collection. Got lots to plant. Now they're all filled with soil and the seeds have already been individually planted. And the idea is that the roots will go all the way down rather than spread out, because they won't be able to. So they'll be forced to go down, which is the idea that I'm after. And the toilet paper will biodegrade once you plant it inside the soil. So win-win, perfect. So one of the other tools I like to use is this soil seed presser. So what you do is fill this in with soil, however much you need. Turn it around and press on it. And I'm just going to press once more to push it out. There we go, look at that. Perfect. Perfect for a seed starter.
So we need to raise the level at the front, because the whole problem with this is the water level has got to the posts at the front of it, rotted it away, and then it's just slowly sank forward and pulled everything apart. So I'm going to put some concrete balustrades that we've got at the front, which will be a nice feature, but also it means the wood can't get in the water because it's a decent level away from the water, no matter how much it rises really. So time to cement them in place. Okay, here's the second one.
Very neat. Well done.
Okay, so these concrete balustrades are cemented in place, and I've put the back bits in place. So I've got to now measure here to the lateral beams, and then I know how much I've got to take off the front legs. These can go on there, and we can put this all together.
Simple.
Right, hun, so what I need you to do is I'm going to hold this where it's supposed to live over here. I'm going to hold the spirit level here, and you're going to measure the gap between this and the top of the balustrade. That way I know how long the legs are going to be, so I can chop the bottom off, and then when we put it all together, it's going to sit upright. Yeah?
Cool, got it. All right.
Got it? Can we
Easy
do that?
peasy. I can do that.
Cool.
Okay. Ready.
Shout.
Oh, that's a lot.
Stop. I haven't done anything yet. That.
110. 110.
Okay.
It's a long way away from a circular saw for Phil to be able to cut it. So he's just going to use a chainsaw. Nice and simple. Looking great. So was that stressful?
Very.
What was the point that you were like most stressed about?
Well, I mean, this is all fairly rough. If I was building this from scratch, it's easy. but I'm trying to retain, wrongly, I'm trying to retain as much of the original structure as I can, because otherwise it feels like you're just replacing it, you're not repairing it. But that means it's old measurements, it's things that aren't quite right, so you're having to lift things back into place and hope for the best. We're pretty much there. Pretty much there.
It'll look pretty when it's done.
It will do. There's a bit of jiggery pokery yet.
Show us what's in the hand. This is propane gas pipe, and we think that this used to heat the swans in the colder times, like winter or something. Don't you think, Billy?
I think so.
That's a nice idea, isn't it?
The lady that lived here once had emus and all sorts of stuff, so I think she had swans and had them a little heater.
Yeah, well, we can definitely see in the postcards that there were swans, but that's nice, this little feature. I'm not sure what we're going to do with this as yet. For now, we'll leave it, but yeah, I'm not sure. We'll think about that later.
Can't smell any gas.
No, long gone for sure. I'm not even sure where it leads because there's nothing there. There's just a forest with nothing in there. So,
We'll work that out.
yeah, it might be hidden somewhere. That's it. Maybe we can go around with like a metal detector, you know, searching
It's going
for
to be, it's no longer a Swan House, it's a Swan Chateau.
Swan Chateau. I like that.
Or a duck chateau if we only have ducks.
Well, yeah, ducks for now, so that's that.
All right.
All right, you crack on.
So, we are in. Now the frame is, I'm shaking it right now. The frame is nice and sturdy. The plan was always, once it was in, now I'm going to connect and cement everything up after I put an acro to hold everything together and level it all up. So here we go. Now for the ridge beam. The ridge beam's in, and this is all original apart from this piece that I replaced, but I used the original peg, and rather than using a mortise joint which was rotten the last time round, we're simply using coach bolts. So I've pre-drilled in here, I've done 2 pilot holes, now to put it all together. Yeah, cool. I love it when a plan comes together, as they say.
It looks wonderful so far.
Yeah, it looks wonderful.
Yes.
Good. So, this is as far as I can get this week. We obviously always have huge amounts to do off camera, which are just general day-to-day maintenance, cutting grass, these sorts of things, which do not make good content for the vlog. However, I need to be able to get this lot done. We've had a bank holiday, we haven't been able to get much done, and we obviously have our sponsor, June's Journey, and we have to film for them and of course give them the video in advance. So we're a little bit pushed for time this week. I hope you appreciate how far I've got this week. The last part is just the roof, really, and you know, I'm looking forward to that section, of course. So I hope you like it so far. We'll give this a coat of stain off the camera after a quick jet wash, tidy up some bits, and I look forward to putting the roof on for you guys next week.
That sounds like it's going to be the fun part.
It's going to be the most difficult part.
Well, I can get involved, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yay, roofing.
Okay.
Right, let's go. So thank you so much for watching, guys. It's been quite an interesting week for us, in as much as we've had huge amounts of stuff to do off camera. And obviously with a bank holiday where everything is closed on a Thursday in France, it's been a short week work-wise that we could get done, but that's just the reality of living here in the chateau. There's always some stuff getting in the way of the projects. The Swan House roof is next, and thank you for your patience. Again, 10,000 subscribers. We are really overwhelmed with that. We only did it simply to share the place that we live with you guys, and it seems that you are enjoying it. So now I'm looking forward to the next milestone. Let's celebrate 15, let's celebrate 20, and let's celebrate that with you guys as quickly as possible. So please do share our videos, and of course thank you to June's Journey, the sponsor of this video.
Yeah. Also, if you are subscribed or if you're new to the channel, don't forget to click the subscribe. If you are already subscribed, don't forget to hit the bell button, which changes into, because that way you get the first notifications as soon as our videos are up, or anything that we do post on YouTube. So that's the best way to keep in touch with us. Okay. And
and please don't forget to visit our Patreon page. Just take a look. You know that we have various different tiers if you want to become a patron, or of course just take a look. We do release content early on there for our patrons, and we're about to see something from a fantastic friend of the chateau who came to do some drone footage for us. We gave this to our patrons a week early, but we're going to give it to you guys now. Hope you enjoy, and a big shout out to Dan. I'll put a link to his stuff there so you can see it. Thank you, Dan. Loved your work, and hope you all guys like it as well.
As always, any of the tools that we use here or you've seen us use before, you'll be able to find it in our Amazon shop. So click the description and you'll be able to head straight there.
See you next time.
See you next time.